Hello everyone. Today I will discuss the question and answers of your first chapter from the Wind Chimes Class 7 literature book, The Surprise Party. So without wasting any time, let's get into started. A. Answer these questions in brief. Question number 1. Who was Bilbo expecting? Which lines from the text suggest this? So Bilbo was expecting Gandalf. The line that suggests this is, I am so sorry to keep you waiting, when he saw that it was not Gandalf at the door. Question number 2. Who was the first dwarf to visit Bilbo? The first dwarf to visit Bilbo was Duolin. Question number 3. How did Bilbo react when the visitors started to pouring in? Bilbo was shocked and overwhelmed, and he sat down in the hall and put his head in his hand and wondered what was happening. Question number 4. What conveys that Bilbo was not too happy with the visitors? Bilbo's frustration is shown when he says that, bother these dwarves, and why don't they come and lend a hand? Question number 5. What indicates that the visitors were quite comfortable in Bilbo's house? The dwarves sat around the table, ate, talked, even called for more food and drinks, showing they were comfortable in Bilbo's house. What does throng mean? Why didn't Bilbo like the sound of the word? So the throng means crowd or a large group of people. So Bilbo didn't like the sound because he was not expecting so many visitors and felt overwhelmed by the sudden sound in his home. Question number 7. Who did Gandalf finally arrive with? So Gandalf finally arrived with Thorin, the most important dwarf, and the rest of the dwarves. B. Answer these questions with the reference to the context. So question number 1. The reference is, the poor little hobbit sat down in the hall and put his head in his hand and wondered what was happened and what was going to happen, whether they would all stay to suffer. So question number A. Who was the poor little hobbit? Here the poor little hobbit was Bilbo Baggins. B. Who does they refer to here? They refer to the dwarves who had unexpectedly arrived at Bilbo's house. C. Why did Hobbit put his head in his hand? So Bilbo put his head in his hands because he was confused, overwhelmed, and worried about the sudden arrival of so many dwarves and what it might mean for him. Question number 2. Dolin at your service, said with a low bow. A. Who was Dolin? Dolin was the first dwarf to visit Bilbo. B. Where was Dolin when he said this? So Dolin was at the Bilbo's doorstep when he said this. C. Who was addressing here? How did the listener react? Dolin was addressing Bilbo. Bilbo was surprised but politely invited Dolin inside for tea. Question number 3. Of course, said Thorin. And after we shall not get through the business still late, but we must have some music first. So who was Thorin here? So Thorin was the leader of dwarves, an important and proud dwarf. B. Why did he say of course here? Thorin said of course to confirm that they would stay for supper and continue their discussion late into the night. C. What business was he talking about? Thorin was talking about their plan to reclaim their treasure from the dragon's mark. C. Answer these questions elaborately but simply. 1. In what manner did Duolin enter Bilbo's house? Duolin entered Bilbo's house without waiting for an invitation. The moment Bilbo opened the door, Duolin pushed himself inside, acting as if he was expected. He introduced himself with a polite bow and said, Duolin at your service. His confident and abrupt entry surprised Bilbo, who was not prepared for so many visitors. 2. Why did Bilbo invite Duolin to stay for tea? What does it reveal about him? Bilbo invited Duolin to stay for tea because he was too polite to turn him away, even though he was completely taken aback. This reveals Bilbo's hobbit nature. He is hospitable and by instinct, but also uncomfortable with the unexpected. His invitation is automatic, driven by manners rather than genuine welcome, showing how deeply he values order and predictability. 3. What did Killy say after he entered the house? After entering, Killy said, "Let us join the throng." This means he wanted to join the crowd of dwarves already inside Bilbo's house. The word throng made the Bilbo even more uneasy because it suggested a big noisy group, which was the opposite of the quiet evening he had planned. 4. What did the dwarves discuss as they sat at the table? The dwarves at the table spoke of their lost gold and dragon's mark, who stole their home and their treasure their ancestors crafted. Their words buzzed with longing and danger things. Bilbo, who loved comfort and hated adventure, found confusing and terrifying. 5. Why didn't Bilbo want to understand what the dwarves were talking about? Bilbo didn't want to understand the dwarves' talk because their world of danger and adventure clashed with everything he valued. Hobbits like him cherish safety, routine, and comfort, things the dwarves' stories of dragon, goblins, and the lost treasure threatened. He had no interest in their quest or the risks it carried. He just wanted his quiet and predictable life back. Their fiery passion for adventure only made him uneasy, underscoring how different hobbits and the dwarves truly were. 6. What did Gandalf order Bilbo to do once he arrived? Gandalf ordered Bilbo to bring more food, more cakes, coffee, eggs, and even the cold chicken from the kitchen. His blunt and a matter-of-fact comments made Bilbo frustrated and overwhelmed. 7. What effect did the dwarves' song have on Bilbo? What is revealed about the dwarves in the song? So, effect on Bilbo is the song swept him into a daydream of adventure, but the feeling of vanished quickly, leaving him shaken and scared. So, what it revealed about the dwarves? So, their heart ache, pride, and longing for their stolen homeland and the treasure and the golden herbs taken by Smog, their determinations to reclaim it and restore their lost kingdom. 8. Why aren't the dwarves in possession of their treasure? How does it make them feel? Smog sees the kingdom in the lonely mountain. They feel anger and determination. They have longed for their lost home and the glorious past as well. 9. How did Bilbo feel about all the unexpected company? Give the example from the text. So, the poor little hobbit sat down in the hall and put his head in his hands. So, this feels that he is confused and overwhelmed. Brother, these dwarves. So, he was annoyed at having to serve them. So, why don't they come and lend a hand? So, felt alone and burdened by all of the work he was doing alone. He shuddered very quickly. He was plain Bilbo Baggins again. So here it is, he rejected the adventure and returned to the safe, comfortable and quiet life. Question number 10. Justify the title The Surprise Party. Can you think of another title for this extract? So Bilbo was expecting only Gandalf for tea. Instead of a rowdy group of dwarves invaded his home, eating, singing and talking as if they owned a place. So it was a chaotic, unexpected, like an uninvited party crashing into the Bilbo's quiet and orderly life. So his shock and confusion make the title both humorous and accurate here. So other possible titles should be Bilbo's uninvited guest, the dwarves' unexpected visit, the hobbits' chaotic evening, the party of the Bilbo didn't plan, an unexpected invasion, the unexpected guest, the Bilbo unwanted adventure, a hobbit's house overrun.